What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Clippers have an epic comeback win, huge comeback win. You know, with this win, this is one that they will cherish in regards to taking this into the play-in tournament. This is the one that they'll cherish a lot because, you know, the return of Paul George and the comeback and everything that came along with it, you know, was definitely worth the wait and the anticipation for him to come back on a game like this. Another big epic 25-point comeback win. And what this win does for their confidence is boosted tremendously in regards to, like, you know, going into the play-in tournament, everything like that, and the playoffs. Now we have a chance to win. We might not win it all, depending on whether Kawhi Leonard comes back or not, but we definitely have a chance to win because we got one of our superstar players back and one of our role players are coming back soon, hopefully with the thought of Kawhi Leonard coming back after the play-in tournament or maybe within the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, definitely, you know, good signs there. Definitely a huge win for the Clippers. I mean, you know, this was one of those another epic nights that they had, you know, except this night they had one of their star players in Paul George, you know. So this team has been showing that they're resilient. This team's been showing that they have been, you know, eager to just prove everybody wrong. And, you know, when you look at the Clippers, that's their MO. That they wake up every day out the bed wanting to prove the world wrong and ride for Clippers Nation, you know, all the way. And that's what they do. And you got to respect them for it because this is what they've accomplished so far in their time together. They've accomplished that, you know, we're one of those teams where we've graduated mentally to the point to where no matter who we have on the floor, we give it everything we have. But our mentality is to come out with the victory no matter who we have on the floor at that current time. Now, like I said, this time they had Paul George with an epic 34-point game. You know, it was really great to see, you know, how he came back and, you know, how he took over the game when it was called upon for him to do it. I thought he was a little less aggressive in the first half, but definitely came out in the second half. I mean, Utah was playing good too. I mean, you know, like I said, Donovan Mitchell had like 33 points himself. He basically matched Paul George point for point, and, you know, the better team won at the end, which is the Clippers. But, you know, as a team, you know, the Clippers played, you know, very good in regards to, you know, like I said, the second half of the game, they played much better. They played very good. They didn't play great because, I mean, overall, you know, they did give up. They were down 25 points, but they played very good when it was needed for them to do so. I mean, they did end up getting like 14 points from Hardenstein, 17 from Luke Kennard, 21 from Reggie Jackson, and you get 34 from PG. Well, that's all you need to beat a team like, you know, Utah. I mean, Utah played very well, but, you know, when you get contributions from everybody like that and it's evenly distributed, you know, or distributed a little bit more as far as the scoring, it definitely makes the Clippers more of a dangerous team. And that's something that I feel like they should have been doing because they definitely have the team to do so. They definitely have the pieces to do so. And, you know, when you look at this team and how they're constructed, they have depth all around. And this is the reason why I feel like the Clippers, even with Paul George, and I think Norman Powell comes back in a few games, you know, they're going to be a tough out in the play-in tournament because, like I said, you know, they just have an all-around team with a lot of depth. And when that happens, you know what I'm saying, when you play a team like that, you really don't know where it's coming from. Paul George can have big nights, but when you get 17 from Luke Kennard off the bench and 14 from Hardenstein off the bench, and you get 20-plus points from Reggie Jackson or like a Marcus Morris, now you're in trouble because you don't know how to really defend them because they got it coming from different angles. And then on top of that, somebody else can knock down some big shots that you're not paying attention to who's offensively inclined, like, you know, somebody maybe like an Amir Coffey or, you know, whoever the case may, or like a Brandon Boston, he might come in. You know, just having PG there or a star player there like PG or somebody like that, it definitely makes them more of a, versatile, team in regards to their scoring. And that's what I thought the Clippers needed, even though they have other players like Brandon Boston and other role players and things like that, and Reggie Jackson. But I just feel like, with him being there, definitely makes them more versatile on offense. And I feel like their offense is the only thing that's been lacking, of course, throughout this time that they didn't have neither one of their star players. And now that they got, one of them back, it's definitely going to make them, even harder to beat and knock off when the playoffs come. So, I think it's definitely good that, they got one of those star players back. And I definitely think it's good that they can, kind of build around that, going into the playoffs rather than just having, a bunch of role players who can do good things. But, they didn't have like a closer to me. They need to have somebody who can kind of, help close out games or, who can, keep the game afloat at times when, the other guys are reeling a little bit. And now that they have, him back and the way the guys have been playing all along, it could definitely make this ride a little bit easier for them, going forward. So I personally think they'll build off this win right here. This will be that one comeback game that they had with, Paul George playing. This will be the one that they'll remember the most for this season, that'll propel them going forward, I believe. And that can help them, just play better all around as a team and, get used to having PG back in the lineup. And for some players going back to their natural position and allowing them to, flourish that way. I feel like, that definitely can help, their the rest of their season. Because like I said, the goal every season for every team is to have a winning record before the season ends. That just lets you know that you completed the NBA season with a winning record and you didn't leave, a lot of games incomplete, and you found a way to, play above 500 basketball. And I think the Clippers definitely, are that type team. So with PG coming back and everything like that, I feel like they could finish out the season strong, go into the play-in tournament with some confidence, get out the play-in tournament, go into the first round, and hopefully see, if they can get, Kawhi Leonard back, or somebody like that, who can, get Kawhi Leonard back and help them, propel for that championship. Because like I said, they got to go for it this year. They just got to. It's next year is definitely no guarantee. This year ain't no guarantee, of course, but next year definitely is it. Because like I said before, teams are going to get better. And even though the Clippers are going to get more chemistry and better as a team, but other teams will too. So, you can't just, punt seasons away and be like, oh, we'll just go back next season and run it back. Don't work like that sometimes. A lot of things can go wrong. And in the midst of that, you have to be prepared for it. You have to understand it. But at the same time, you have to go through it. And, hopefully, like I said, I really hope they get Kawhi Leonard back, man, because that would be the ultimate piece that they need. Because if they have to go against teams like Phoenix, the Grizzlies, or even the Warriors, if they're healthy, if they're 100% healthy, it is going to be tough to beat them. Because like I said, those teams are well coached and they got they will have all their firepower. So it would just, the Clippers would keep it close, but it would be hard to beat those three teams and come out the West, because without Kawhi Leonard, man, you're going against juggernaut teams who play very, very sound basketball offensively and defensively when they're on the floor. And like I said, the way Devin Booker is playing, you're probably going to need a Kawhi Leonard on him. Just to be honest. So like I said, let's just, if Clipper Nation, the main thing is get through this season, try to finish with a winning record, get into the play-in tournament, get your way through the play-in tournament, and then see what it holds for the playoffs and who you play and, who you match up with. Because matchups, definitely play a big role in, 7-game series. Also, play-in tournament series too. If they have to match up against the Timberwolves in the play-in tournament, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a very tough one if they have to match up with them, because like I said, they're an up-and-coming team. They're young, they're ready, and they want to, make a name for themselves too. And plus, Patrick Beverley is on there too. So, you have to kind of definitely acknowledge that. He definitely knows the Clippers, their tendencies and stuff like that. So it would be a tough matchup if they had to face them. And I feel like for some reason that might be who they have to go against for some reason. I don't know why, but if it is, oh well. I still think the Clippers will win. Will win if they play them, or even if the Lakers happen to make the play-in tournament, still. That would be a tough one too. But I still think the Clippers can pull that out as well, But it's going to be tough going forward, but it's okay. Like I said, they got one of their star players back. They got some confidence, even more confidence back now with PG on the floor and the rest of the guys. They can kind of play the way they were playing earlier this season before he went out and kind of continue on, what they were doing. They were playing good. Paul George was playing good earlier this season as well. So, you got to give him credit there too. So we'll just see how everything pans out. But definitely big win for the Clippers. Definitely a confidence booster. And hopefully I think they'll take this deficit, this 25-point deficit, this specific game, and utilize it for confidence going forward, which will help them win and help them play with more energy and more everything that they have been playing with lately. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.